Happy New Year, everyone. It's Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brand. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies with me. Nima in the building. Nima Akasha Zebe. How you guys doing?
I'm fine. I'm just so grateful. I couldn't sleep yesterday. I just sat on my bed and I counted my blessings and I was just grateful. From my pains, I'm grateful for them. My grief, I'm grateful for that. My children, my husband, just grateful for everything. And I'm startled by North Arabian culture. And so now I have a deal to be styled for any occasion.
Wow! What a way to start the year. Congratulations.
Fantastic. That's good.
You will see more of Abidi Modley.
No problem. We like it. We like it.
Kind of thing.
Hi, Dean Tokwe.
I'm very good. I'm also very grateful to God. So yesterday I attended 2 services, and in the first one I was dancing ahead for all the testimonies I will receive in 2022. But then second service, I don't know, somebody just sparked in me like take stock, you know, like I started thinking about where I was starting 2021 on the show, wishfully saying, I'm not doing makeup again, no, I'm doing real estate. And then it's actually a reality, and there are several testimonies, investors getting paid, land getting sold, clients building in 1 year. And I'm thanking, you know, I just had to appreciate God again in the second service. Now, not for what He's going to do, because this year I'm only just trusting God that He has my back, and with Him everything will work out. So I don't need to start planning grand, you know. I just trust that in God, He won't put me to shame, and He will glorify Himself.
Amen.
Please,
Mariam Longe. So I gotta introduce Mariam the right way.
Yes.
She's a conservationist. She's a published author, health and wellness fitness consultant, coach. You're a TV host. Please, let us welcome
Welcome to 2022.
And we're so excited to show you her new book.
Yeah.
This is Mariam Longe, Vultures to the Rescue.
The cleanup crew.
The cleanup crew. I love it. I love it. Congratulations, Mariam. We're so proud of her for this lovely book. It's on Amazon already.
Yes.
And she's working really hard to get it on other online platforms within Nigeria. But it's good. Very soon it's going to be everywhere. We're so proud of you, Mariam.
Every child in Nigeria needs to have this.
So much.
And you said
it's a storybook.
It's an activity book.
Yes. It's
for an activity book.
Something to inspire.
There's so many things in there teaching the
So
children.
let's give Mariam the platform.
So tell us what's next. Congratulations.
Okay, what next?
As in, tell us about this journey.
Okay, yes. So 2021, I just knew when the Nigerian Conservation Foundation invited me and asked me to be their brand ambassador. And I just realized that's for the Save the Vultures campaign. And I realized how many people, young and old, did not understand what the vultures were meant to be. They just thought, all sorts of evil connotations were used to describe them. And for me, I've always felt that when you want to change a mindset, you need to start from the youngest generation. They are easier to mold. And I felt that when we put a story like this, but it so happens this book is also good for children as well as adults. You know, activity pages are in the book so that the kids would practice what they have what they have read in the story itself. I'm so grateful for the journey. You see, there's something that we tend to do. We focus on all the challenges that leads us to the prize. Yes. So last year I was mentally overwhelmed because all I saw were the challenges. But now I'm grateful. I had to pass through those challenges to come here. So I'm really happy.
Congratulations! So we're planning a local and international tour.
Yeah.
We're going to Ghana, we're going to Kenya, we're going to South Africa, we're going to UK, we're going to America, we're going to Canada, we're going global, honey.
Yeah.
We're global. So we're going to make this really happen. So we're so proud of you. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your constant support. I couldn't have done this without you ladies. Thank you so much. Each and every one of you have been wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so
Murayo, you're not going to escape. God has been faithful. We thank God.
Last year was great. Thank God I graduated.
Yes.
You know, I was telling you testimony about the how God blessed us with the house. You know, we didn't even think about it. I just said I wanted to leave this area, and God did it for us. And last year my mom passed. I mean, and I'm so grateful that I was there with her, like from the start, the moment when we got the diagnosis to the point she passed. Myself, my siblings were there with her. My brothers flew in. You know, we stayed. I mean, when she was going through all that testing and pain, I'll be showing her a picture of herself, saying, Mommy, see, you took this picture on 75th. See how beautiful you look. We're going to get you back to this. You know, and she would smile. Like, you know, she was encouraged. And she just felt that, you know what, at the point when it was very close, she said, Mariah, let me go. I'm tired. It's too much. You know, she knew I didn't want to release her. And I always give thanks to my aunt, Mrs. Adeshokon. You know, she came to the house that day, the day my mom passed. That she came in the morning. And she saw my mom because we kept my mom in her room. She came in there and said, Mariah, let this woman go. Just basically, Auntie, I release you to the angels. I release you. You know, you've been well. You know, just all your children are doing well. You're fine. Your kids are fine. I will release you to the angels. And we escorted her to the car. As she drove off, I came right in. My mom stopped breathing.
Wow.
It was like she was waiting for us to just allow her because we wanted her to stay so much. We kept trying to keep her, you know, just praying. I mean, I was still scabashing. That morning, I was still scabashing, you know. But when my auntie saw her, I said, no, let her go. You know, and I thank God for that. And you know, it was a great year, and you know, came with his blessings.
Yes,
and God
so
did a burial, and everything went so perfectly.
Beautiful,
and it was, you know, and I thank God for it. So 2022 is here. You know, we're hoping that this year will be much better, and only good news. For not just the ladies, all the ladies, our children, our family, our loved ones, our fans, those who care about us, and even those who don't, just wish you the best this year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers that we forced ourselves to read. Stay with us, right?
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, we're going to start with the nation. Ibadan mourns, Olubadan dies buried. Buhari governors Tinubu, others pay tributes. New moon, Sultan directs Muslims to look out for the Jumada al-Thani 1443 AH. 2023 poll, Jonathan meets coordinators. NIMET alerts airline operators to poor visibility in 8 states. COVID-19 tests for State House visitors. And bandits kill 7 in Kaduna communities. Okay, which story are we taking?
Olubadan.
Olubadan, yes.
So we must, you know, stand with the people of Ibadan right now. Oba Saliu Adetunji, the Olubadan, died yesterday and was buried around 4 p.m. He died at the age of 93. And already the announcement that, you know, you should usually follow the burial has been done, and they've declared the vacancy on the stool of the Olubadan.
Yeah.
According to the nation, certain personalities are already being looked at to fill that vacancy, and maybe very soon that announcement will happen. But after the 7th day fidel prayer, before anything official will go on, according to the nation again.
Okay, so I was going to take a story. I'm looking for the story. Go ahead, please.
So the governors and other visitors to the president at the presidential villa have been asked that they should take rapid COVID tests at the gate. And that's not only for those who are going to see the president. As long as you're going into the presidential villa, everyone is required to take that test, especially as there's been cases of members of staff who had tested positive to the COVID-19. And so just saying, but you know, this just reminds me of the year that our First Lady, I think they said she was in an altercation with one of the members of staff because he had traveled and refused to take a test.
Yeah.
Now here we are doing what the woman said you should do. You know?
They are doing it in 2022.
So yes. Yeah. And then, okay, there's also a report that shows that there has been a drop by 35% in the last 24 hours in the number of people who have contacted COVID-19. But they're still telling us to, of course, you know, follow the guidelines, keep social distance, wash your hands, use sanitizers, use your face mask. It's still very much there, but we saw a 24-hour decline.
All right, so the Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has released the public weather alert, especially in 8 northern states. According to them, there's a dust that was raised over the fire, I think Lajur, a dust source region in Chad Republic. And they're saying that this dust is going to be from mild to moderate, I believe, and it's going to cause, trigger poor visibility in 8 northern states: Yobe, Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Borno, and others. And saying that they're cautioning flight operations, and I'm using this opportunity to help magnify this information. Flight operations may be disrupted. Urge airline operators to pick up their flight folders and adhere strictly to the regulations, especially at the air drones, and also travelers in that area must be very careful because the dust is likely to give you poor visibility in driving. So please note that warning.
So let me quickly take the speculation, the story about Jonathan. So our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had a meeting on the 27th of December with the president, Muhammadu Buhari. And they now said after that meeting, he went back to Bayelsa. And then he now had another meeting with a group, they call them the coalition, or the South-South, that there's speculation that the APC wants to field former President Jonathan and then puts a northern candidate, so that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, if he wins, only has 4 years, and then the power goes back to the north, as opposed to all this political play that you people are playing. It's okay, just ensure that in that play, we are putting good governance first. We're putting good healthcare first. We're putting access to infrastructural development first. And that is the most important to all of us. Not this your power to the north or power to the south.
All these
Yes, now.
and conspiracies.
2022 is a deciding year. Everybody will pick their sides.
Yeah.
You will know where you stand this year. By this year, everybody will know. All right, let's move on to the nation. Budget. National Assembly faults Buhari, insists on the 6,576 extra projects. Nigerian drug cartel supplying Mpuru Umitiri to South Africa. Power-drunk SFU adamant refuses to release Punchman's phone and ID card. 2 Kaduna Baptist School students released after 189 days with bandits. Food crisis to worsen as bandits kidnap 352 farmers in 12 months. Police 178,459 firearms unaccounted for, and 3.22 billion are paid to ghost contractors, says the Auditor General. Mbaka claims anonymous DSS invitation, 6 prayers from congregation. Wike visits Ikpeazu. Bauchi governor attacks Buhari, alleges anti-graft fight lopsided. And Buhari eminent Nigerians mourn Olubadan, Balogun to mourn throne. Okay.
So,
story?
Power-drunk police officers. So, police officers claiming to be working with the instruction of the commissioner of police heading the special fraud unit in Ikoyi, Ibrahim Zango, arrested or tried to arrest the Punch Metro reporter, one UFO. And they took his ID, Tony Ufo, they took his ID card, they took his phone and his ID card because he was interviewing people in front of the special fraud unit. Just for that. You know, even though that ID card shows that this is a reporter doing his lawful duty, they've kept on to that ID card till date, and they, you know, all attempts, a petition to the IG of police have not, you know, proved not made any results yet. But the spokesperson for the police, Frank Kumba, is saying, maybe by Tuesday they'll give him back his phone and ID card. Since Wednesday last week, maybe by Tuesday they'll give him, because, you know, officially that's when we are out of the public holidays. But until tomorrow, they don't know anything. I'm just wondering how you can identify a person in his own business and you say no. That's how I was, you know, in traffic, and I tried to make a video, and the police officers at Ilepo were the ones causing that traffic, and they almost took my phone. They banged on the windows and harassed me and said all sorts of things. In my own private car, I can't even make a video.
Right.
This is not in front of the police office, but they were the ones, you know, carrying this out. So we need Frank Oba to come and tell us again, when exactly is it an abuse of rights for a police officer to take somebody's private properties?
Right. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back and continue this conversation, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
lọ́n sọ mọ́ kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ ọkú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you're gonna say it?
ọkọ tí wàá sọ yẹn.
bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi sì sọ kí.
torí kí ni.
àkọ́yẹ́ kọ́ mọ pé jẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ẹ̀ kí ọmọ tó mọ ẹgbọ́n mọ́. lọ́n sọ mọ́ kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ ọkú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you're gonna say it?
ọkọ tí wàá sọ yẹn.
bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi sì sọ kí.
torí kí ni.
àkọ́yẹ́ kọ́ mọ pé jẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ẹ̀ kí ọmọ tó mọ ẹgbọ́n mọ́. lọ́n sọ mọ́ kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ ọkú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you're gonna say it?
ọkọ tí wàá sọ yẹn.
bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi sì sọ kí.
torí kí ni.
àkọ́yẹ́ kọ́ mọ pé jẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ẹ̀ kí ọmọ tó mọ ẹgbọ́n mọ́. lọ́n sọ mọ́ kádàrá aláwọ̀ àkàkàjù. àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú.
The National Assembly, they appropriate. But the president said that if they make adjustments concerning the budget that was submitted to them already takes into cognizance the amount for each project. That if they remove funds from some project to another project, the one they remove funds for might be ineffective because they won't have enough funds to carry it out. That these are worrisome changes made by the National Assembly to the federal government's budget, and that the cuts would cause several of the projects might be rendered unimplementable. Now, the special advisor to the president on against corruption, Professor Ite Sage, said that he doesn't understand why the executive isn't using their power against the legislature, that they have more authority than what they are using because they are scared of getting into a clash that might mean that all the bills they send to the assembly might not get implemented. Does not mean they should now abdicate and just let the assembly have whatever they want. I just want the assembly to have our thoughts in mind. Now, that's what they said. The spokesperson for the National Assembly, chairman of the House of Representatives, Media and Publication and Public Affairs, said that this is not about them. The projects are not self-serving. The projects are for their people, and that is why they are insisting those projects be included in 2022. In all, let Nigerians' welfare be number one.
All right. I have a worrying story. So the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime has said that a Nigerian drug syndicate is supplying meth to South Africa. They said that this Traffic has had established themselves since 2019, and they find they set up 2 major transnational supply routes from Nigeria and Afghanistan, and they traffic all these drugs to Western Cape Province in South Africa. We have carried our wahala, and now we have made it export and import. Also, this report talked about how it's affecting the youth in the East. That meth is seriously affecting all their youth. I mean, we know when we talk about Southeastern youth, we talk about Igbo youth, we talk about them as being industrious.
Yes, entrepreneurial.
You know, and we hear that a lot of them, you see them looking, they lose weight, they're looking tattered, and they suffer loss of appetite, weight loss, strange sleeping patterns, angry outbursts, mood swings, you know, exhibit all sorts of psychotic behavior. So obviously, physically, it doesn't even do you any good. Right. So why do we need to find a way to work on our youth quickly before this becomes...
There's a part of our artists, all of them promoting these things. So.
Yeah, that's a different topic. Yeah, but so the acting Auditor General is shaking some tables. Mr. Adolphus Agugu presented a report to the clerk of the National Assembly saying that 178,449 firearms cannot be found. You can't trace them. They're unaccounted for. Of which over 88,000 are AK-47 rifles, and others are the other smaller ones. And they're saying that there was actually no records of these losses within the internal administration of the police force. So these amounts of rifles have been missing, and said the other ones are like pistols, assorted rifles, and on the other numbers. So according to, I'm trying to read this quote here. It said that former reports on the loss of firearms through completed treasury forms were not represented for the examination, and the office attributed the anomalies to the weaknesses in the internal control system of the Nigerian force armament. So they're saying that within the police force, there's weakness in their administrative processes, so it was impossible for them to trace. And they're also suggesting that most of these firearms have gotten into the wrong hands, obviously.
We've heard the stories now.
178,000 of firearms within the police cannot be accounted for. We don't know where they are.
Really, really sad.
Okay, let's moving on to Daily Sun. Lekan Balogun tipped as successor as Olubadan dies. Afenifere, MBF Arewa Igbo monarch sets agenda for Buhari. Pastor Olukoya warns of deadly disease similar to COVID-19. Edo government Okpela community on warpath over airport project. Uzodinma names sponsors of Imo insecurity tomorrow. Government abduct ex-Plateau governorship aspirant Kemi Nshe, varsity lecturer. And Mbaka predicts forgiveness for Kanu, others detainees. Okay.
Let me just take this story because it has to do with meth again. So this young man in Ebonyi State hacked 3 people. 2 of them were his siblings. And they said that the police are saying that it's because he ingests this meth that we've been talking about. They said that when he came back, they all sat down, they were talking. He just seemed normal all of a sudden. He grabbed the cutlass and then he killed his brothers in their sleep. So again, drug is deadly. Drug use is deadly. We need to do something about it. I know NDLA has been working, tirelessly on this issue, but obviously the Southeast has a growing problem that we need to quickly, sort out.
Okay, moving on quickly to the point.
I was going to take the story of Okpela. So the Okpela community of Edo State, which is our state by marriage. So Okpela community is in Esako, East local government, which is Nema's area, and they are protesting against the siting of a proposed airport. So there's going to be another airport in Edo State, and they are claiming that it should come to their community because they are the richest deposit of limestone within that area. They bring in a lot of investment. They have BUA and Dangote, and that they were excited when they heard that BUA wanted to create aerodrome. A place where they can land their planes and ship out produce within the community, and that is the right thing to do that. The government should give the investors the opportunity to put the investment where they need it and not relocate the airport to another place using investment funds that come from their community. I believe that protests might not the right way. The government should listen and talk to them. Every community that generates funds should get it.
What's the flip side of the argument? You know,
No, they didn't explain it.
Relocate it in a
So
more
that
politically.
we don't know that.
Don't speak as a sack of woman, please.
Yes.
So that's what usually happens. So they might be trying to locate it in a place that's more politically influenced
we'll wait
than a
for
place that is more productive.
We'll wait for
the government should be thinking like that, more productive.
The government will tell us
We'll
why they
wait
are
for the government's angle, not through Nima, please. Moving on to the point.
One more.
Countdown to 2023, those to set the agenda. Foreign policy investment in Nigerian equities market sustains declining trends in 3 years. Endless woes of Magodo residents and mother of 4 jumped into Osun River over health issues. Who has that story?
I have it. Sophia Gbadamosi is the mother of 4. She took her children to school and just walked around the Osun River area in Osogbo and attempted to jump. But thankfully, and according to the police also, people around suspected, that she was acting funny. And she said she's just tired. She's had health issues that have not been, just not curable. And, she has personal problems that, everything is just overwhelming for her. And she's just looking at ending it all, considering suicide. Fortunately, the police have intervened. They've taken her and they're trying to find ways to resolve the issue by, getting her family. But I'm thinking, this is Osun State. And I know Governor Oyetola must have a plan for welfare, someone to help her through rehabilitation and help her walk through this psychological process at no cost. Because, of course, she can't afford, counselors and health care. But to try to resolve her and hand her over to family members to help her, they were there already before this solution came to her mind.
Okay. Yeah, so we remember last year, Magodo residents had locked their gates because they were invaded. According to them, they were invaded by policemen and hoodlums who were planning on pulling down some properties. So this is just a report to say that they have opened their gates and they have been in talk with the governor. And they just gave a little background story to what has been happening. They said, yes, they are aware that the particular family, this particular family had been given, they had taken the government to court and they had been given 549 plots. But that the judgment does not specifically say that it's in that Magodo estate. And, other people said that they are aware that giving them somewhere in the Lekki-Ekpe axis, and about 300 of the family members had already taken ownership of some of the plots, but yet they are constantly back and forth with them in police. They have land grabbers from those families trying to, take properties from them. A lot of them say that they have papers to show that their land, they have the C of O and everything from the Lagos state government. So they are rightfully there. That until there's a court order showing that these particular properties that are already in the Magodo estate has been given to them, they have no right to come in and try to take their properties from them.
Moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Let's find a story we've not taken. 2022 budget, there won't be crisis between the executive and legislature, says President. Imo, monarchs, bishops seek talks with governors and ex-governors. Olajengbesi doesn't speak for the Yoruba nation, says Igboho. COVID-19 presidency to test all visitors to Villa. Fleeing suspect who murdered RCCG pastor in Lagos arrested. High taxation makes 2022 economy bleak, says ACCI. And how to rescue Nigeria by Edwin Clark, Ukeri Shetima, and others.
So these 2 suspects, Mohammed, quickly, I wanted to get their name, Mohammed and Kasali, had murdered Pastor Babatunde Dada, someone who helped them. So these were 2 destitute, like I would call them, I'd like to use that word, children who walked around that church, and the pastor thought, okay, I would find a place for you guys to sleep. According to them, in their confession, he had come back to church, to the room where he gave them in the church on 6th Avenue in Festac, gave them money to feed, and left. And when he came back with a bag of money, and they thought, okay, to take that bag of money, they used a plank to hit his head and then stabbed him with broken bottles on the neck, left him to die in his own pool of blood, and ran off with the money. The Nigerian police found one of them in Kwara State, and the other one still within Festac, and now they've confessed to doing this since December 2nd. This is how they pay their helper.
Right. So, I want to take this story. It's very, the lawyer, remember the lawyer that defended Sonny Igboho's aides? He wrote a letter to the president, a New Year letter, trying to almost say that he's against the self-determination of the Yoruba nation. He believes in one Nigeria. So obviously, the Sunday Igboho's aides, the Omo Odua, the umbrella body, get a press briefing saying that he was their lawyer to assist in bringing out the aides who were arrested. He cannot speak on behalf of Sunday Igboho, and they are very surprised that he actually went to write a New Year letter saying that he believes in one Nigeria, doesn't believe in the Yoruba nation anymore, and that they're also saying that they know he's trying to run for governorships of his state, Osun State, so he's trying to worm his way to the current party, and they're just saying that he doesn't speak for them, that he's speaking on his own, for his own interests. Okay, we have to run our final. Yeah. That's all we can take, We can't move anymore. Okay, let's wrap up on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. He's falling sick so frequently, either fever or stomachache. I keep him away from junk food.
She also feeds me apples. She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
New Too Short dishwashing liquid tears through grease, no be wash.
Whether you like it or not, the dryness and dust is coming. And this time, it might not give up that easily. But do the people have the power to shake it off?
Well, of course they do, and you do too. Kick dry skin to the curb and get smooth, intensely nourished skin with Nivea's deep moisture lotions and lip balms. Follow the story online, hashtag.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy Eastplash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
How
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup? Check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script? Check. Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR? Check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights up. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Brooks Estate, Magodo area here in Isheri, because they denied him access into the Magodo Brooks Estate. He was at the entrance, trying to gain access. I think he was going for an event or a function, and he came in obviously with his paraphernalia, the entire police crew, and the security guard at the gate asked him to call who they came to see. Of course, that infuriated him because he's commissioner of police, and he ordered their immediate arrest. Of course, the story went viral, and Sahara Reporter says he was power-drunk police. Different people use different terms to describe his act. What do you think? Was he power-drunk, or was it within his rights as the commissioner of police to gain access into anywhere he deems fit? Please call us. You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-97764. You can also send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Let me start with Nima. What are your thoughts when you heard this story?
So me, I just thought good for them.
Good for who?
Good for the private security agents. Because I see these companies fly up every time and they don't do proper training for their people. Sometimes some people come, imagine somebody go with a court process, and we have to then go back and apply for an order to substitute that process because the state is saying, call the person. The person we are trying to serve lives here, but is avoiding the service. They will say, you are seeing the process, and you see a court belief, and you're stressing that person out. I don't understand the training. Why does somebody not tell them that this is a different thing? These are certain things that are legal, they are official, they are court orders. You say no, go back. The person, court ordered somebody to have custody of her children. Estate security guard say, call the person. And the man says, I will not give you these children. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing in that process? You're aiding somebody abusing a court order. And we are showing you, you won't come. Now, the commissioner of police come. Let me read it to inside the story. He says, they say he came on reaching the gate. He was properly introduced. And notwithstanding that, the visible security details in his entire entourage, that's including a dispatch rider in his convoy, was prevented from entering the estate. What exactly remained?
Okay, let me come to you, Mariam. What are your thoughts?
Yes. See, the example you gave about the court order is so different from this one. And it's because our police officers are members of our, those in authority that are in uniform. They need to also understand that there are rules and regulations and laws of the land and things like that. And they must set an example. And that is why we remember during the Fashola government, you will not drive on BRT lane because you're a naval officer, a military man. You would leave the BRT lane for BRT buses. You were not allowed to just run your sirens just because you are in a military car or, So it's important that we also follow those rules and regulations because it allows for peace, it allows for a coordinated, more careful way that we live our lives. So there was nothing that would have been taken from him if they just called, followed the proper protocol for going into that estate. Nothing, but the fact that I've appeared in uniform, everything must stop. If he had come because it was an official, because they say he came for an event, he came to party. So that is different. If he had come because you were doing police work, he had come to look at the Magodo incident that happened some weeks back. Who stood in their way? Because he came to do police work.
Well, okay, I hear you. But Mariam, how do you define police work? Somebody can go to a party because he wants to observe and say, okay, I hear there is a con artist that comes to this party. As a police officer, I want to go there just to see if it's there. But you as a security man, you don't know what is going there for.
All I know is that what we see on TV, we will see them, they'll bring warrants. They'll bring something to show that they are here on official duty. Do you understand? They don't just barge into any home, any house, any estate, just like that.
What are your thoughts on this?
So, first I would say that the Commissioner of Police for Lagos State being stopped at Magodo Brooks Estate was the right thing for Magodo Brooks to do. everybody has resorted to certain security by themselves because the security architecture of this country failed us. To a large extent, there is a lot of complaints, and so we pay for our own security. I didn't grow up with everybody having their own fenced estates, paying security men. Some estates, you pay 3 security men before you see the person you want to see. Why? Because of the threats to the lives of individuals, because robberies take place, because of attacks. We had to now create a system to protect ourselves. We would have trusted the police and IRS at one junction would secure us. So this, for me, is a learning moment that what are we doing wrong? There are many security agencies that are just springing up and getting documented. All those security agencies are getting documented. What is the process? How are they integrated with the police force? Do they ever understand that these are the rules of the game? You cannot talk back to the Commissioner of Police. This is how you deal with one another.
Cannot.
You are not certified. Like, is there a process of integration between private security and the official security of the state? This is a learning moment. It's not a raking moment. I have been to Magodo Brooks. I must make phone call before I go in. That is how a good system operates. I think that the commissioner needs to learn how this is how a good system operates. He might not like that he is on the receiving end. And we must teach our leaders that are powerful to also obey. I see a lot of law enforcement agents disobeying the law. It weakens your presence. So if I've seen police officers drunk, or I see police officers behaving funny, if I see one that is not being okay, I just think that is one of them. But if everybody has comported themselves excellently, at no point will you be disrespected.
I like the part that you said this is a learning curve. I mean, it's something that we should all learn from but there's something called the chief security. So even you are the private, you got your license from me.
Yes.
I'm the one that gave you the license, right? Because now the guy might not know. That young man might not know. His Oga may know. So he was probably not trained that the person that is giving us the authority to be here is the commissioner of police, number one. That's number one. Number two, if you can do that to the commissioner of police, you can do that to the governor. You can do that to the president. Buhari can go to that gate and they say, sorry, call.
Why shouldn't our president call?
Wait.
No, but why shouldn't our president call? No, why shouldn't our president call if he's at the gate and they say the rule there is to call? Why? Because why can't they fake? Can somebody not fake the car of the president or fake the car convoy of the police? They fake convoy several times.
Let me read the complete report. It said, all appeals to the security men to allow the CP to go see someone at a function where an urgent matter bordering on security was to be discussed. Wait. I'm reading it. Fell on deaf ears. Even when they had foreknowledge of his coming.
Foreknowledge. Okay.
Even when they had foreknowledge of his coming, and in spite of this deliberate humiliation, the senior police officer remained calm. And when it became obvious that the security men were going overboard, the CP, after 30 minutes of humiliation, ordered the arrest of 4 of them and left one to man the gate. Make we finish. Okay. You know what I have a problem, just as I had a problem with the police story I took in the Punch this morning. When a person is able to identify that they are on a duty, it exempts every law. A court order exempts every security company, whatever you have in front of any gate. These things happen in Lekki a lot. We cannot set process for a court in Lekki. Even I don't want to call the government agency. So we are frustrated at how these people abuse this privilege. This is a security. To set up a security that you have to have license and approval from the CP's office. And now the CP is in front of your estate. Identifying yourself.
So I have to go on a break. I have to go on a break. But I must ask ladies, isn't the police constitutionally empowered to enter wherever it must enter? And the police, we'll talk about the way. Let's go. It's a question.
It doesn't need a warrant. It's to enter a house that he needs a warrant.
Let me go on a break. Because I would really like to hear from the commissioner.
I'm not your fan.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Are you aware that your perfect family may be under threat by germs? Germs can cause infectious disease. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. Illness-causing germs are everywhere. In unclean bathing water, on your clothes, dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. In your bathing water, for your laundry, for surface cleaning, for first aid, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Show.
Good afternoon.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy Eastplash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup, check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script, check. Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR, check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights on. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so before the break, I asked the question that, isn't our police empowered to enter wherever they choose to enter? For example, even in the Aso Villa, if a policeman says, I want access, the moment he has his ID card and he knows that I'm going there to see, I'm sure they will give him access.
A superior police officer can stop him.
No, you need to call now.
What
are you going to see?
Let's talk law.
Can you enter the National Assembly?
Yes. Brooks Estate is a place located within Lagos State under his jurisdiction. He has every right. It is only when he's approaching a residence to see someone arrest or search that residence that he needs a warrant, and he has to get to the door.
Nima, how do we avoid abuse of power?
Wait, a security person at the gate, estate gate, is not empowered to stop him.
Okay, let me come.
Okay, yeah. So how do we avoid abuse of power? I feel that they must, because of this military interregnum that we've had, we've empowered a lot of people, security officers, to feel like they are the law. Exactly. So our security officers, they're not just enforcing the law, they are the law. They make the law. If I step on the road, it becomes a road. Even if it is your house, I can clear it. So we need to start letting officers obey the law. It comes from traffic. Don't cross red lights. Don't follow wrong way. How can we have, because you have a convoy and you're carrying a security, you're carrying a CP or a DJ.
That's a different issue.
So that's the same thing. It's the rule of law. This estate has a rule. It's written there. They have the rule there.
Okay, so where do we draw the line?
It will take you 5 minutes. It will make that call. 1 minute to call your person.
So wait,
and the person will get you.
Let me come to Mariam.
I
hear you. So where do we draw the line between an official duty? So there are different scenarios. You're right. Call.
Yes.
There's another point where I'm a police. I came here for surveillance. I just came here. I don't want the person that I came to come and survey, to come and check him, to know that I'm here. I'm here under surveillance. I am looking around. I can enter this space as a commissioner of police. Doesn't he have that access?
He has the right to do police work.
Yes.
And come in and do police work.
Yes.
That's true. But also, I understand that this report may be skewed in such a way because we're hearing from the police. We're not hearing from the estate security themselves. We don't know the attitude. We are Nigerians. We know usually the sort of attitude you get from people who feel that they are wearing the uniform, they have the power, so you should just drop everything. It is okay to be able to ask someone where they're going. They were going for an event.
Yes.
That's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Probably he was in his mufti and things like that, and it's okay to ask for more clarification. And the only part, now, the next time, if there's a problem with him having arranged before, so I know that some estates, you would call ahead to the person that you're visiting. They will get the gate informed that you're on your way. You get a code. So when you get there, you put in the code. I'm not saying the CP himself has to be the one to give the code, but he came with all his orderlies and things like that. They would have set that place. They would have made sure that he had the code, and once he comes in, he's able to drive in. Okay. But you just show up because you feel, well, I'm wearing the uniform, and that's all.
Let me take this call from Isaac. Isaac, are you there from Taraba State?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Iman.
Sir?
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
You have a point, but your point is not too okay. Now, there are lots of companies in Lagos State. If you want to enter there, you have to call the staff ahead before you come there. Now, if the commissioner of police, these are our business people, it is hard for them to follow protocol, and it's not easy. Following protocols is the best. I think protocols in this Nigeria for our business people is too hard for them.
Thank you,
Commissioner of police,
yes.
being the commissioner of police or whatever, the person you want to go and see in the estate supposed to be at the gate, even waiting for you there.
All right, thank you very much. I have seen, with all of us here, we've all watched Hollywood movies. Exactly. And we see a policeman, all he does is show his ID card. The most secured buildings. Yes, Mariam Longe. The most secured buildings. You went to enter, even there are some places that are extremely, wait now, they just show the either FBI or their C or their whatever, NYPD card, whatever it is. And they go right, they have access. Yet, as you said, when you get to the door, you need a warrant to enter. Yeah. But to the premises, the building, you have access. Nobody's going to stop you from entering a building to check or to see if somebody's there. But yes, entering the White House, definitely you need a warrant.
And I also think that because of the insecurity that we have, the police say it all the time, all the fake policemen have fake uniforms, drive fake police cars.
This guy came with a convoy, Mariam.
I also think it's in their interest to follow protocol, just as our caller said. When you do that, you take away all this. This thing wouldn't have happened if you just followed protocol. Now, secondly, I also understand. We have to tell ourselves the truth. I also understand that many of these security outfits are overzealous. They're not properly trained. But I feel in this case, if you're coming for a regular social event, follow the protocol. But we have some people that are not trained, because sometimes you come in, even this our building, they are the original, the first gate. Sometimes they don't know. You have your press sticker on your car, you're going into the station that you are supposed to be manning, not our regular TVC estate. The first one, they will not let you in. They'll be arguing with you, but they should know that just having that and it shows TVC, you can enter. So we need to also train these people. A lot of the times we just get people on, just get people off the street and just give them uniforms and allow them to man
buildings. Is it the place of the security guard of the private company to determine if what you're coming for is official duty or not?
So
is it that guy that's going to determine that?
It is. I think that the commissioner of police for Lagos State should hold his entourage and his people, what they call the people that go ahead of him. He has a team that goes before him. My uncle was a commissioner of police in Lagos.
Advanced team.
Yes, he has an advanced team that goes ahead of him. Those are the people responsible for what went wrong. Because if they have his itinerary, they know who he's going to see. They should have called the person ahead. They should have ensured that when he's coming in, he is just driving through. That is their job. They failed at that job. They should be penalized for it.
Maybe because we are saying cost of governance. They have to get no more advanced team. It's possible. We are the ones screaming cost of governance here. So they say cost of governance, we don't want to do advanced team again. We'll go together. We'll have a commissioner of police.
Go back to, if you want to go for official assignments, every security, no private person, apart from the OPC and the local ones we usually do, our gatesmen, no private, that's a organized security, they wear uniform, should have such without being licensed from the police. So it means that the police commissioner should know that I'm going for official assignment here. I know the company that should be manning that space. That's how organized society should be. So if I know that and I know I want to go there, I call their boss calls the boss.
That knows.
By the time they get there, they say, let them go in. They are going for a covert duty. Let them go in without being stopped.
Oh, you can't do that though. The security guard will tell them, I hear say they want the covert duty.
No. So at the end of the day, what we're doing is their loyalty is to the states because they are licensed by the state. It is a learning moment that everybody should take
go back to
and write down what we learned.
There are so many parts of
this. There should be a white paper on this state.
Let me take this call from Godfrey. I think it's a learning of experience. Godfrey, I believe. You're live.
Yeah, hello, I'm Tim.
Yes, you're live. You're listening to the TV. Here, listen to me. I have to disconnect this call. Yes, Nima, let me jump in. Let me let you jump in.
Okay, so to every general rule, that protocol that the estate has, there must be exceptions.
Good morning, he's back. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I really want to appreciate you guys for what you're doing. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
He's listening to himself.
We are still listening to the TV. Please, the TV is about a few seconds delayed. So if you listen to the TV, you can't hear us. Go ahead, Nima.
So exceptions are that you have certain recognized government establishment. I'm sorry that you have fake people. But because of fake people, does it mean the legitimate ones will not exist or they won't operate? If you had an ambulance that had been called from the estate and nobody remembered to call you, trying to get access to rescue someone, you say they should phone.
Ambulances.
No, it's the same thing. Forget that he was going for a party. It was in his official car. The report says his plate number, entire convoy was there. You could recognize that. You had to be stupid to insist that he should call somebody. And the training, what training are they giving them exactly?
That one we agree.
The list that a security agency should insist on for his staff is a diploma in law. So that they go there, they know it's because the Police Act is public news. They would even have a knowledge of it. A police officer only needs a search of or whatever warrant at a residence, not at an estate.
He said, somebody sent me a message. He said that there's a law of ingress and liberation in our law. He says the judge's rules allows the policeman to even go to the Lagos State Governor's office or house for an offense or crime that occurred
within that house.
Offense or crime. But you don't know now. You don't know. You are saying it's a social event. It could be, listen, for a layman, they're having a party.
Yes.
For a police officer, it could be a bunch of drug lords having a great party. So you are the policeman, you know, you have that, you have the intel. Policeman, we're going to hang in the layman. I'm talking to wait, I'm having a one-on-one with Mariam now. So for you as a layman, they're having a party there. Me as a police, I have intel that the drug lords are having a function. And I want to go there and I want to go and see what's going on, observe. Now, you are now saying, the party now, please call the person you came to go and see. Is that right?
Okay, so let's just bring this home and help me understand this. I have my house and I have a gate, and my gate man is not allowed to let anyone in without my say-so. And then someone else. That's a gate. We have an association of residents in an estate. You sat down and you drew up that law. You have given people access. Not that you haven't given them access. You were not coming. Even the CP did not even say himself that he was coming for police matters. He was coming for a social event. We had already discussed how there's a protocol. An advanced team should have gone ahead to take care of it. We know we have an attitude problem in Nigeria. I do not even feel that it's not about the law or the constitution. It's just attitude. How we can be so rude to each other. Do you know who I am?
Let's find
That's not what happened here. Go ahead.
An oddly of a judge coming to an estate, identifying himself and say, I'm with this so judge, and they're asking the judge to call. We had a matter where the judge said, I want that man to bring the children to court. And he said, no, they're in school, they cannot. And she sent her oddly. The school could not say that. They said, wait, the school could not say that. They waited. The father brought those children to court. It is some things that have to be done to ensure that other people's rights also are established. We're just using this case in study. What I have seen so far with these estate agents is that somebody failed to train them and inform them that there are certain exceptions that you just don't play with. Right. And because the Commissioner of Police is now using his powers to assert that this place, you better notice things like this. Somebody doesn't come with certain office. I cannot come with a letter from the president's office, for instance, now, and I show you that this is what I want to serve. And you know, you can't take it. I have to hand it over. Right. And you're insisting without, this you can do is make another for you yourself. Call the residents.
Okay, we have to wrap up. But I think what we all agree is that it's a learning opportunity from the side of the police, on the side of the estate agents, security, and even the people that are inviting you, the police, to their own party. You put the name of the commissioner of police, so please, when it comes in, let it come in. Because it happens here too. When we have some big guests, they will delay them at the gate. I was did you not tell them that I'm coming? So I think it's a 360 review we must do, where all parties must ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. That's all we can take on this. When we go on a break, when we come back, we'll move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Are you aware that your perfect family may be under threat by germs? Germs can cause infectious disease. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. Illness-causing germs are everywhere. In unclean bathing water, on your clothes, dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. In your bathing water, for your laundry, for surface cleaning, for first aid, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
The place and in Brighton.
Àwọn kan wà tí wọ́n bá kú tọ́jọ́ kú wọn ò tí ì pé wọ́n á papòdà síbòmíì.
Is that how you gonna say it?
Ọdún wa sọ yìí.
Bó ṣe wá kọ̀wé ránṣẹ́ yìí pé òun fẹ́ rí mi kájọ fojúkojú yìí kò yé èmi o.
Bó ṣe pé ẹ̀rí ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ àyà mi ti sọ kí.
Torí kí ni?
Àkọ́yẹ́ kọ́ mọ̀ pé jẹ́rẹ̀ ẹ̀mí lẹ́kùnmọ́ yọmọ mú yẹn rí flashback jọ́ ìkí ọmọ tó mọ̀ ẹgbọ́n mọ́.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get an in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be. Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
How we're doing, guys? Is the makeup in progress? Makeup check. Are the scripts on the prompter? Script check. Are we set in the VCR? All team in place? VCR check. Clock is ticking, time is racing, lights are. Plans all set. 120 minutes of hot entertainment. We are ready for the mission.
It's a lie. No, unbelievable.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're supposed to have our special guest on the show, but we're still having a bit of connection issues. So the moment I have him, we're going to have an interview with him. But let's just take a few comments from our online community.
John Aibinu on Instagram says, in this space and time, we all watch how some people barricaded the house of a top judge, yet the police turned out to be fake.
Thank you so much.
I said to his superior argument, he said, on the other hand, I have also witnessed how this private security handled by the church in my area telling me I have no right to enter my father's house, or unless I get permission from their pastor, because the man at the gate the main gate was paid for by the church.
So I guess, as I said, this is a 360 thing. Let me take Sadiq. Sadiq, are you there? Hello, Sadiq.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
First time calling.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just wanted to contribute regarding the discussion this morning.
Yes.
I think the commissioner, I think he is wrong for what he did, and I cannot blame the security man. There's a reason why you have rules and policies, regardless of who he is. When you're coming to an estate, you're told that this is the procedure here. The security, it's his job to protect the people of the estate, regardless whether it's for social events or even when he's on duty. You know, he should just be humble and say, oh, this is who I am. I'm here for a social event and I've been invited for so. Even his boys can do that for him, you know, and, you know, they'll allow him in. It's very, very simple, but he wants, you know, Nigeria as usual, they like to misuse power. You know, I think he should resign.
Thank you, Sadiq. Thank you, Sadiq. But you know that these kind of security guards, they can actually stop the governor. They will, because of ENSA. They say, this is the governor. Say, I don't know. I just came in from the north. I don't know who the governor is. Please call the person you came to go and see. So it goes back to training. You see, there are some people. I mean, as much as I understand understand it's important to obey the rules. There are rules, but the same law, the same constitution that gives you freedom of speech, I told you the right is not obsolete. It's not absolute. It's not absolute.
Let me take this comment. It says, a whole Prime Minister of Britain was seen running to catch his train. He didn't lock down the station or restrict fellow commuters.
This is different now.
How? Because it's Nigeria.
It's different.
I'm just reading messages.
Let me tell you how it has been different in Nigeria. That when he's running, people do not clear the road. How dare you be on the path of the Prime Minister?
The train cannot move because the Prime Minister is coming.
I'm told our guest is here now, so I have to wrap this up. But let's go on a quick break. I think I can just bring him on. So joining us now on this segment is our special guest for today. Our very first guest for 2022 is the Executive Governor of Cross River State, Professor Ben Ayade, in the building. Welcome. Sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
He's not hearing you. Hello, sir. Are you there? He can't hear me. Hello, sir.
After the healing.
You have to me.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you very clearly. Are you there? Can you hear us?
It's too faint. Is that the maximum volume?
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
We can.
Me nod my head, so he knows I can hear him.
Okay, then that's fine. It's just that you have to increase your voice a little bit because I'm hearing you faintly.
Oh, wow. But we'll thank you for joining us on the show. We'll be discussing with him the current state of affairs and the state of our nation, everything. He has agreed to discuss everything with us. So, Your Excellency, can you hear what I've said so far?
No.
Okay. So the last time you were on the show, let me go on a quick break. I'm sure our technical guys will try to increase the volume so you can hear us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I thought you said your children attend a public school.
Yes, so they do. These are some of the many chairs they are taught in Lagos State public primary schools. Under the Eco Excel program, every day they're excited to go to school and can't wait to return the next day.
Which one is Eco Excel?
Eco Excel is excellence in child's education and learning. It's the new technology method that Lagos State has introduced to make teaching easy for the teachers and learning exciting for the children. With Eco Excel, children in Lagos can compete with their counterparts anywhere in the world. So, you mean public schools have been upgraded? Yes, it has.
Every child in Lagos State in public primary school deserves the best. Eco Excel leaves no child behind.
Heartburn and indigestion? Try Gestede. My recommendation for the past 26 years, Gestede. Reliable remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Nollywood is home on Netflix.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, I'm told we're still having technical issues with the governor of Cross River State. We really wanted to talk to him this morning as our very first guest of the year, but we're still having some technical issues. So we might have to call him on the phone later if we cannot speak to him via Zoom. So in the meantime, we'll move on to another hot topic, which I would say probably broke the internet over the weekend. So we saw a church in, I'm saying like Ghanaian, a church in Ghana, you know, where there were women coming for spiritual cleansing towards the new year. It was a crossover service. Now, it wasn't specific, it was this crossover service, or maybe previously, but quite a number of people posted it, and it seemed quite real, where these women were being washed spiritually with soap in a bucket. They stand up and they move to the next bucket to be rinsed out, and they move on until, and I think they're given some kind of underwear or something. And the point is that in 2022, I think it was Larry Olushola that posted it, that he's asking us as Africans to think, you know, we don't always have to be forced or manipulated into these kinds of positions. We must begin to think differently in 2022. People are going for spiritual cleansing, people are going for spiritual newness, and they're finding different ways to do it. So this person's choice is, let me be washed naked in the presence of a pastor. And that person could be, let me go to Orioke for 7 days. And that person could be different things. So this is this person's choice. And the question is, are these the right choices? I mean, are there different ways of doing this thing? Or listen, every man to himself. Do you, we say, right? Do what comes to you. Do what seems logical and reasonable to you. So should we judge people like this? What are your thoughts on this this video? I'm not sure I can show it on television. It'd be nice to for you to see what we're saying, but go on social media.
It's a big graphic.
Hopefully, as we are having this conversation, we can get our governor back so that we can speak to. I really want to know what's going on across the state. And we know so many things are happening there, and we'll be happy to speak to the governor very soon. But in your thoughts, let me start with Tokwe or Miriam.
It's really so sad that the statement that religion is the opium of the masses, we see it play out again, where based on religion, we get high and do whatever it is that religious leaders tell us to do. This is just one display. The video, it's dehumanizing for me that as a woman, to see a woman, for whatever reason, bring herself to that point where she's getting naked in front of a pastor with the hopes of washing away whatever is in the past and entering the new year as a new person. I think that God has given us a gift in this, our free will and brain. And I feel we should always compare ourselves with the best. I look at the Western world and developed countries, and I tell myself, if Angela Merkel can do what she's doing, or you don't know, the former chancellor or current chancellor, if she can become who she's become, held power in a country as strong as Germany, she has one brain. If they scan our brain, and probably our brain is not bigger than my brain, that's the kind of level of thinking we should make ourselves think. Not thinking that there is something you physically wash out of your body and it is somebody's hand that will wash it away. We've seen people eating grass, swallowing snake, drinking people's urine, all in the name of religion. Can we use what is between our ears and think? You know, because that is the foundation of all the problems we see in this part of the world, is that we've not taken time to think appropriately. And I also believe that even if human beings refuse to think, the government should help them along the way. So if these kind of things happen in your society as a leader, you have a right to go investigate and shut down, because people are taking advantage of the inability of your citizens to think. And you as a leader should think ahead for your citizens because they are your responsibility. So there are many ways to look at this, but the real problem for me is inability to think.
But would you say, Mariam, that it is religion? Or would you just say it's wickedness of man, manipulating others?
You see why it's a bit dicey and sensitive religion is, if you look at the Bible, it has its stories, but then also allows for, religion encourages faith, to see things as if they are, even if they're not, you know, and to also give almost complete worship of who your priest is or your leader is. And that's why you hear things like, touch not my anointed, so your anointed can do no wrong or say no wrong. So we know in the Bible that when Jesus was getting baptized, he walked into water and went down into the pool of water and he came out. Some people would say, you should do it, why don't you even do it better? And take off your clothes and go in there, go down totally, and when you come up, you're white as new, you know. And because it's that way, it's, especially in Nigeria, every time we try to talk about some of the things we see as abuse of the power or the authorities that the religious leaders have, people come at you. Because for them, they have stories, they have testimonies to show that they did these things and things happened for them. I personally feel that your relationship with God should be personal and you should do it only the way that, you know, you're comfortable and that he feels you. But when I see things like this, women stripped naked, women asked to take detergent, soap, you know, there's this other one, bleach. They drink bleach to wash away their inner sins. And I'm wondering, is it really about lack of education? Because I've seen, and I don't think it's about lack of education, because I've seen people in desperate times, educated people, but because they are in the, you know, things are tough for them, they are willing to do anything, go anywhere. And it's time, I don't want to say government should step in, because the way government will step in is that they will ask you to, they will lock you up, they will, you know, they will arrest you for child abuse. But human beings, Nigerians themselves, they have to start thinking how this really looks, how it affects them, how God really shows up for you. Does he only show up for you when you are standing naked before the pastor? Is his wife standing naked before the congregation? Exactly. Are his daughters doing the same? You know, why is God not answering them that way? Why is your own case different? We also have this thing where they're constantly telling us about our ancestral curses, generational curses. And I'm wondering, the people that have killed us, sold us, stolen us, where is their own generational curse that does not involve you almost tearing someone apart. It's in Nigeria we hear of children being beaten and flogged because they are witches. We need to think about things differently. We can enjoy God and also enjoy it in peace, you know, and enjoy it with
So there's something called hypnosis, right? Like we learned this in NLP, where you can actually hypnotize a whole congregation by the words you say, how you say it, repeatedly over time. And in this kind of situation, that's where I think government can come in, where once they see that the technicalities or the mechanics of hypnosis is being displayed in a church service, maybe it's that time that's abuse. So you can actually get the police. So they need to start sending in people, go to maybe what they call them, social workers or something, to start going around, start saying, because these people are probably they're not in their right minds, don't you think? Welcome to Nima, your thoughts on this?
Religion, for me, as I've always said, has to be very, very, very seriously regulated. A lot of things that we've, what do we call it? We've made holiness. From the simplest things like making noise in my ears, to the more serious things like, you know, manipulating people like this, to fraud, to outright fraud, defrauding people in the name of religion. These are things that government must take over by legislation, compulsorily. So from where I come from, you have scholars who will say this is what the word of God clearly is. And they'll set a template for what it must be and what it must not exceed. So that it's not based on one person's definition or part-time of it. What we see, and we don't want to say, but it's Ghana. You know, what we see, it happens here. But these videos, the ones that I have seen, is just too consistent. And I like that the government has decided to regulate, you know, prophecies and all of that. I think they should extend it to things like this. It happens too many times. You just have somebody rent one small space, one small shop. People run down people's businesses, manipulating people's minds, saying that, a vision I have seen for you is to donate your factory.
Yes.
Become, and you know, you did not calculate the number of people who will become helpless, jobless because of it. And over time, this is how Africa has continued. You know, let's have people who truly understand what religion is, determine what it should be. Once that template is exceeded, anybody found defaulting on that side or any side is arrested.
You know, I was coming down the 3rd Mainland Bridge. I was coming in from Osborne, trying to link up 3rd Mainland Bridge. And to the right, there's this small church on that. I don't even mention the name of the church, whatever. But it's I saw the pastor standing. I saw the woman kneeling down, and she was going all over. And the man was holding her head. And I'm like, I was just driving past. I'm like, this is still going on. You know, this was just yesterday. Like, this is still going on. You will kneel down in front of somebody, somebody pushing your head like this, and you be like this, as if at his mercy. So it goes back to what are we doing to educate ourselves and reorientate our minds? Because the truth is that a lot of people, this is their daily bread. Because I told you before that I met a man, unquote, of God, who was excited that his family member, a politician, he knew, just became a commissioner. He was so excited. I thought, oh, really, are you guys related? He was happy because he called the commissioner in my presence that he should not enter that office, that he's coming there to come and anoint the seat. That he got a revelation that place, that chair, they want to resume. Don't resume my money, I'm coming there. In my presence, I was shocked. So he was excited because he's going there to go and pray. After pray, we'll collect something. You now hold the man, you now anchor that. Because he will consistently call you before he enters the office. Should I go to the office today? And what is there? And you start giving him all the stories.
That's why
that is your bread. That's your daily bread.
Rayo, we all have a brain. And how I tell myself that, and I benchmark the best that is my gender. So I can look at Oprah Winfrey and say, Oprah can do this. I must be able to. Bonale Austin Peters. No, I must. You know, so same way we need to challenge ourselves to think on how rational is this thing I'm doing? Am I really thinking? Because at the end of the day, Murayo, there was a time in my life as a young child that somebody would prophesy to my mom that I am the reason she doesn't have more children. And they would have convinced her to believe that. And how they doctor people's minds to think and start looking at a human being as evil. Starve a child because you think the child is the one making you have misfortune. Why are we thinking like that? Use your head. You realize that you can think your way out of whatever challenge you found yourself and pray. God has given us that capacity. We have a car because somebody thought about it. The person did not think he's a witch.
I just got reminded of somebody. There was a guy, a tailor, many years ago. The guy has dreadlocks. So, I mean, this guy wanted to bite me. So there was a tiny lock that was about to slip out. So me, I was young. I thought, oh, I'm just gonna pull it out, He almost beat me to bite because his prophet told him that his spiritual nothing will not drop. So he wanted to literally bite my hand.
You were Delilah.
I was like, yeah, this is about to come out. He beat my hand. I had drawn. On this matter. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the mind.
I really wish that.
Miss Nima, let me pause you. I have a quick call and I'll come to you. Oluwakemi, I believe. Are you live? Oluwakemi, are you there?
Yes, ma.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I wish you same, ma.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, ma.
Oh.
I'm a first-time caller. Happy New Year to everyone. I really love your show. This is the first time calling. I've been trying to get you all this while. Hello?
All right. So I need that call to be disconnected. Guys, when you call into TV, please talk to the phone, not the TV, because it is actually a few seconds delayed. So by the time I'm responding, I listen to the TV. You're not talking to me. You're talking to yourself. So please talk to me on the phone, not the TV. Very 2022. We'll be cutting the line now. I can't even speak English.
So recently,
yes,
a young child who had been abused by a Muslim woman in full hijab opened up about what happened. And she had come and said it was a domestic accident. The girl said, this is a young girl of about 7 to 9, said that that woman, because he called Umu, that's mother in Arabic, dipped her hand in hot semo in punishment and made her leave it in that semo for 3 minutes as punishment. What it cost that girl was that they had to do rescaling of skin grafting for her, and she lost that. It was her right hand.
Oh, my Lord.
So there's something I was teaching my children over the weekend that, kindness is what everything grows on. Nothing, something, everything. It makes a dry land, a desert, life. And that's religion. There's nothing else to it. And I was saying to them, I said, if you do something evil to me, I won't forget it. But if you do something kind to me, I would never forget it. And that just always just be kind.
So even your disciplining of your child, be kind.
Of your own child. Remember to have mercy. In Islam, it says God is mercy himself. His mercy is so generous in his mercy. And you are doing something to somebody. In the name of religion, you're just so self-centered about what you get.
Okay, let me take Boniface and I'll come to Miriam. Boniface from Jos, are you there? Thanks for calling. Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay, please, I want to comment on that security man that...
Oh, yes, it's your view. Let it count. Go ahead, please.
Yes, please, I want to comment on that security man that stopped the commissioner of police before. Please, can you listen to me? Can you hear me? Yes. That security man should be given national honor. The security man should be given national honor. That security man should be promoted from the rank he is now to other rank. Because to stop commissioner of police is the mindset is an intelligent man. Stopping him is the best. The only thing Nigeria believe in this country is to you honor big men. You don't want to care whether if you say you are like you now that is going to die, the man will stop you. Nothing will happen.
Boniface, let me engage you for a minute.
No,
Boniface, can you hear me? Boniface, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Please listen to the phone, not the TV. Now, imagine your wife was abducted.
Yes.
And she's about to be sacrificed to some whatever at a party, at an event. So right, okay. Why?
Why make it so?
I want to make it gruesome.
Because you are going for a party, please.
So I'm just saying. Let me think about it. Because we are so Nigerians. We are so conditioned against the government that sometimes we just fail to see a full 360. We've seen your side of the story, and we've seen your side of the story. And it's good to look at all sides. But we just want to stick to one side because we hate the government, and we just say, no matter what, they are wrong. But see, that life doesn't work like that. Let's move back to our story. So where are we?
Yes. We're talking about religion. Okay, yes, how people have abused people because of religion. And sometimes I also feel that there's something about religion that attracts a type of personality, people that love to be worshipped. And I also think some of these people, the ones that do this evil, carry out these evil acts, have mental issues. I remember, I think it's Jim Jones, one leader like this in America that had people commit suicide in great numbers. They are narcissistic. All they want is for people to worship them. That's why we need to be careful. I know, you kept saying, use your brain, use your brain. There are some children that were born into this. That's all they know. So we hope, that they can, when they leave their home environment, what they are used to, that they would learn. We hope that maybe when they watch shows like this, that they will learn and question things. Different. But so many people have been brought up in homes like this. This is all they know. So it's generation after generation of people allowing themselves to be abused. There's something also that black people enjoy, which is we think that to be happy, we have to suffer, we have to struggle. It doesn't always work out like that. Yes, we say work hard to earn, a better life, but does not mean that you have to be, it has to be undignified. You have to be abused to the point that, you have just hate. There's no self-love. And until then, and until when we also think of how we treat each other in kindness, with empathy, compassion, things like that, we will continue dealing with things like this. And I also think that government, this is where I also think government can step in. But to what degree, considering how Nigerians can be about stepping in when it comes to their religious leaders.
So let me mention, you mentioned how they push fear. Some religious leaders will make you feel like, I have to come and pray. Let me sanctify that place. Don't eat that food until somebody puts the hand. Don't touch. Your mother is the one. I feel that the same mouth that the pastor has and the same God that the pastor is praying to is the same God I'm serving. And he gave me the mouth too. And I feel that many times we feel my own prayer cannot be answered. I have to go and meet the pastor to be answered. We need to discipline ourselves to connect with God as individuals, not to neglect the pastoral role, but to understand that we have the same access to God, so that we don't respond in fear, but we confirm the word over and over again before we do what might be an instruction that is not for you, but for self-service of that individual that is giving you the instruction.
Let me take this call from Sean. Sean, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my name is Sean.
Yes. Go ahead. You're live.
Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year to you too, Sean.
Yeah, I was listening to what you said about the churches. Yeah, this nowadays of pastor ministry and prophet and that. When I was in ministry, I won't mention. There was a time I was like I was down. So one of my friends just invited to the ministry. So the prophet, the pastor in church always prayed for me, the Bible, and anything like that. So things changed. All of a sudden,
it's so hard to. Your voice is muffled. Maybe you're too close to the phone. I can't hear you very well. Your voice is a bit muffled.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry we lost that call. Yeah, so we're still talking about this issue, and I was even trying to link it to the issue we discussed earlier, which is about kindness. I think it was Nima that mentioned that word kindness. Because at the end of the day, as a pastor, or even as a parishioner or a church member, if the fact that being kind to each other is what you see that, do I need to take my members through this process because I want to get something from them? A lot of this is all about getting what you can get. You're manipulating people so they are consistently subservient to you, and whatever you ask them to do, they will do. Because after this spiritual cleansing, if you feel cleansed, you will still bless the pastor. Thank you. It's a Thanksgiving offering. You will give it. In your mind, because your mindset is not like, now I'm free of all the evils. The first breakthrough you get, the whole thing, you bring it.
It's a seed.
It's a seed offering. So these are all things to get people continually manipulated and subservient to certain. But you see, my question is that religion? We must be able to. We must divide religion from this. They are two different things, I think.
Well, I think we're also a bit lazy when it comes to religion. So there's my pastor yesterday was talking about read the Bible in a year. Some people read it twice in a year. How many of us actually read the Bible? Like read to understand for ourselves. We rather listen to what the pastor says and take it. But it takes discipline for you to study and know for yourself. We rather just listen. What did the pastor say for us this year? What is the pastor saying for us this month? But the Bible is there. God speaks to us through his word. So why don't you also take out the time to study his word and know it for yourself rather than just waiting for what they say? And many pastors that are true will direct you to God's word. They will tell you, go and read it.
Papa, there's also that one where they say that God is giving them special revelation about what you have read and understood differently. So that's the thing about religion. There's always... Because there's supposed to be a priest, a head, someone ahead of you that you must go and listen and get his counsel. You will constantly be in that mix. We should separate it, you're right. I believe we should separate it from state, from politics, from things like that. And, you know, we talk about insecurity in our nation. And sometimes we have seen religious leaders that have said insightful things.
That led to challenges.
Yes, and we know who they are. They influence their congregation, they influence communities, they influence states. I know sometimes during election period, I remember I have aunties or relatives in the village that will call you say, they say, our pastor say this is a Christian, we must vote for him. Even though he has never done anything in that community, you don't know what, you know, you can even see that he's not really ready to serve the people, but our pastor has said this is the person that we must. So it's important that if we separate them, then maybe we can even, things will move better for us as a nation.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Hello, Takba. Hello, Takba, are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Hello, Takwa, are you there?
How are you?
Very good. Please go ahead.
How are you? I'm here. Good morning. How are you? Congratulations for the good job you people are doing.
Thank you, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Very clearly.
Loud and clear.
Congratulations for the good job you people are doing. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Takwa, we can hear you. Go ahead, please. Speak to the phone, not the TV. Go ahead, please.
I'm speaking to the phone.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. We've responded. Yes, sir. I think we're having issues with our phone lines. All right, so there was something I wanted to say earlier. I actually lost my train of thought. But in everything we're doing, I think, and I was going to link it up to what we said earlier. Let me see.
For me, people should continue to learn their ways, whatever ways they've decided to learn to God. And since God is mercy, is kindness, whatever violates that in itself is something that is wrong. The moment something says to you to either to violate yourself or the life or something of another person, that moment you draw the line.
You know, I was even going to come to the issue of crossover. Do you guys do crossover service in your...
We don't do.
You don't do crossover because it's all about this concept of crossover. I mean, I know that when I was living in the US, I never it was my crossover when I came to Nigeria for the first time. I never knew there was crossover. I mean, now I'm sure they do it now, but then there wasn't much of wasn't popular crossing over in the presence of God. It was just like you stay in your house, your family, you pray and you cross over. But there's this big concept that you must cross over to the new year in the presence of God. And that's part of what has led a woman like this, or women like this, to go to church like, no, for this 2022, I must cross over cleansed. So this concept, because I know that there was a time where we used to go to watch the ball drop in New York for a crossover. I mean, the countdown, it was a big deal. Yeah. And we crossed over, and the year still goes well for us.
So it was just that, you know, people thought it was worldly, so let's make it godly.
Yes.
And then they shifted it. So all those activities that you do for the worldly,
for secular,
it was now, you know, found for secular was now found to be, you know, put into perspective for the very spiritual or the very religious. It could, for me, is sitting in my house. It's another day. Even for my birthdays, I don't know the difference. But you know, you pray, you do that. Even in Islam now, people now think because people are rushing and joining the Christians because of this, let's bring it and make it Islam. It's still not Islam. It's still innovation. A lot of things like that. What is most important is that I have read the Quran all my life. Every time I read it is a new book. Every time I read it, it speaks to me in a different way. So continue to learn about your faith. That is the most important thing.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there, Dorcas? Are you there?
Hope we get it right.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, Dorcas.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All fine callers.
Welcome to the show.
I really enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Good work.
Yes.
My contribution concerning this. A lot of things happening in this Nigeria we have. Unlike me, I really free to enter church because you go to church. You go to church because of one problem or the other. Coming back home, another thing will happen again. My sister, you know what is happening. One just has to be very, very careful.
You go with a problem, but you come back with a bigger one because of things like this.
Yeah. All right, so I think our phone lines are just not so perfect today. But
So,
yes,
I want
this
to say
issue
that
of crossover.
Yes, no, not just issue of crossover, religion generally, because many people on our YouTube are saying, oh, but there are people with different grace. There's a higher grace. There is this one. You listen to them and all of that. And like I said, I'm a Christian and I don't hide my faith. And I have people I listen to that I would listen to them. But I know everything is in moderation and I check everything with the word of God. So if you tell me something that is contrary to the word, if you tell me something that is not true, that is not noble, that is not good, that is not kind, that is not admirable, if you're telling me something that is evil, something that does not edify me, it does not tally with the word of God, I will not take it, even if you're someone I really respect. So they're human beings as well, and they also have flesh, and so that means they can fall and do something that is beyond, they can fall their own hand, and then come back and say, I'm sorry, even me, I failed myself, and then God will forgive them, and you follow them into. So we must always check with the word, and we must always process whatever we listen to. It must be true, and it must stand the test of the word of God. We have that access. So I think they have grace, but we also have that grace as well, to the extent in which we use it.
Yes, we're going to be wrapping up soon on this issue of, because I wanted to link it up with why we take this issue of crossover so strongly. Because aside from the fact that we're looking for miracles, looking for ancestral killers and the demons, executioners and all that, we want to enter the new year in the presence of God. Yes. And we want to enter the new year with the spiritual cleansing. And that's what some of us look at. That's why I would actually go to the pastor, please, this new year, and they tell you, do this so you can be prosperous in the new year.
I don't think the idea of crossover in itself is a bad thing. Yeah. Many people do New Year's resolution. When we were growing up, that's what we knew. You do your New Year's resolution. And I think that it comes from that. And just like Nima said, people would go out to party. We would watch on TV different, countries how to go out to party to usher themselves into the new year. But I think it's the abuse of it. Some churches, there used to be a time people would go to church, stay till midnight, and then come home. Many people just walk in the street. But with insecurity, you find some churches have changed the timing. They close earlier, or they say we'll do it online. So we understand that the church can also change. It's not, stamped in stone, or is not carved in stone. You can tweak things, and so evil people will tweak it to their advantage, and good people would work on it in a way that blesses the church and it blesses people. That going and praying to God for your new year is just a way of it's like a resolution, saying, okay, this is what I want for myself. You remember the prayers, you remember also what you need to do to get to those things that you're asking God for. But if it involves me getting naked, that's the part. Churches will not allow you come into church with some tops and and then this church will want to strip you completely naked in front of the other congregation. Something should go off in your head that this isn't right completely. So as we've all said here, we must pursue our relationship with God personally. and do things with him on a personal level. It's good to join the congregation of like-minded people and worship God on that level. But in the end, it's your personal relationship with God that matters.
So we have to wrap up, yeah.
There's also, just as Miriam just mentioned now, the standard of decency. There's a standard of good. There's a general standard of good, a general standard of wrong, a general standard of right. That's when somebody tells you, you immediately must question what the person is telling you, no matter in what disguise is telling you that thing. No matter how they put it, no matter how sweet or, perfectly said it, you must question it when he says, you that you came here fully covered. In the presence of God, you're supposed to be fully covered. Some places you have to put a scarf. For us, for me, I can't even go out without it. To be, and then somebody now tells me, is to see my shoulder that I don't want to place again. Hold it.
All right, so we have to wrap up.
The same thing when you now tell me that, for all the problems I have in the world, one innocent child who cannot even feed or help themselves, that is dependent on another person's survival, is responsible, and that I must knock that child, the living thing, to death. At the moment that person is voicing out that wrong, you question it immediately because it goes against every right thinking logic that you must have.
As we're wrapping up, I'd like to discuss, our final comments on this topic is also to show our discussion for the. I'd like you to also give your plans for the year, what you look forward to. It's our first show, so we should say one or two things or what we're looking at, what we're looking for this year. But Pastor Nee sent me something which I think is apt. He says, Titus 2:11 says, the same grace at work in every pastor has appeared to all of us. We need to personally search for God. So it's not about what the pastor says, it's about what you say. And I think that's really apt to wrap up. And there was another comment I'd like to take on the other topic. It says that the discretionary, that this concerns the police, the Commissioner of Police, somebody sent me a message. It said that the discretionary powers of the police is wide and limitless. Only the courts can legally restrain the police, not even the executive. Those private security guards are not properly lectured. The police can tell the governor no, but can't say no to a competent court. The position of the law is that the police that exercise or uses its discretionary power wrongly must be sanctioned and subject to punishment by the law. So, according to this person, the police only the law can stop the police. Unfortunately, we couldn't get our governor of Cross River State. He was our special guest for our first show this year, and sadly, technical issues did not allow us to speak to him, but we'll definitely have him back. Thank you very much, sir, for at least accepting to speak to us today. We'll bring you back another time to hear what you're doing in Cross River State. We had so many questions for you, but it's all good. It's our first episode, guys. The grind just started. We got 364 more days.
The blessing just started.
Hey, the blessing just started. I like it. The blessing just started. That's all we can take. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.